and welcome. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV and you're watching Head to Head. A new project aimed at police cooperating with the civil society has been launched in Ukraine. It's called School Police Officer. The project is set to create a bright future for Ukraine by educating the youngest generations of Ukrainians the proper way. To unfold the matter, we're joined in the studio today by Oleksiy Biloshytskiy. He is the first deputy head of Ukraine's patrol police. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So what is the whole idea behind this project as a school police officer? What does it mean?
Actually, this idea came to us in 2016 and was the initial phase was in 2017 when we actually decided to create something that is going to be very close to public, and I mean in this very narrow sphere. And actually it happened so that we had very many requests from the schools, from even kindergartens, that actually they wanted to see police officers in the schools, in kindergartners, mainly in the schools, having discussions, having working with kids and working with them.
So basically educating kids on the safety, on the work of police officers, because from what I've read, it's the project aims at making teachers, parents and pupils and students cooperate with each other. So how is it going to happen?
This is just one way, and as I told you, we had this request, I mean like a public request, and on the other hand we had our partners, and we have them, it's Agrit in Canada, who actually suggested that our launching the project of school police officer on the model of Canadian school police officer. So we actually took a lot of their methods, their approaches, but of course we adopted it into our realities and according to our legislation, according to our circumstances, and we launched the project together. So the aim, as you say, of the project is, yes, of course, it's to unite the effort of the school administration, of parents, of kids in achieving the goal. And the goal which is to my mind and to the opinion of our guys and to the opinion of our organization, it is, of course, the upbringing of law-abiding, lawful people, like in future, because what we are doing now is we're working with our next generation. We're communicating with them on a daily basis. We do it, not only to help them today, but also to achieve, something better in future. Because it is very important which, stone we're gonna, which ideas and which concepts we're gonna teach them, teach them today, and with what they're gonna go to their future, and what society we're gonna have in the future.
So how are you teaching the little ones?
Actually, there are different methods of which are being used by the school police officers. I would like to spend a little of our time explaining how we actually train the school police officers. So it's not just that.
So it's not a regular police officer. It's a specially trained person to go work in educational facilities.
Right, but those are the patrol police officers that we actually do the recruitment. I mean, the special recruitment for the to become the school police officer. Of course, not everyone has the skill and the maybe even the desire to be a school police officer. But amongst those who have it, who have what it takes, we do a recruitment, and then when we pick those people from the patrol police officers, we actually put them into training, and they go through a training as school police officer. The design of this special training was also created
in cooperation
with the Canadian side, with our partners, with Everything Canada, and it is also based on the Canadian model. Of course, our other partners also were helping in it, and for example, European mission have helped in also developing this training. But initially, the standards, the model, it was created in the cooperation with Everything Canada, and right now we have this, defined model training that all the future school police officers have to go through before they come to schools. So getting back to your question,
how do you teach the kids?
Yes, on those trainings they get the needed methods. They're being taught the needed methods. It's basically what they do is they first of all, they differentiate between the ages of the kids, because something you do in the
age of 4 and in the age of 8 is totally different.
Yes, it's definitely different, and what you do in the age of 15, it's completely different. Because, but the first and the utmost idea is to become a friend for the kids, no matter what age they have. But if we say that the little kids, then you do it in the method of role play, games, like discussions in the games, and like creating some environment that the kids are going to be interested in what you're saying to them. Not just lecturing them on some kind of stuff, but explaining and making them interested. Yes, a part of it. Right. Thank you. And when you work with the kids that are, with the higher grades, like 15, 14 years old.
Well, basically teenagers.
Yes, teenagers. You have to communicate with them, and you have to become someone whom they can trust their secrets. Because what we see is that sometimes kids cannot trust their secrets to administration or even the parents, and we know it. And
teenagers.
I'd like to spend some time also on the question of, maybe you've heard of it, the blue whale. This is
I've heard of it.
Yeah, this is a notion that happened in Ukraine, and I know that also in the other countries, and which is actually maybe some people or organization that is creating an image of in the minds of the kids, of teenagers, of like a game that they have to play, and the result of this game
is a suicide, basically. Just a second, I would like to explain to our audience, there was a game, a so-called game launched in Ukraine and post-Soviet countries on social media called Blue Whale, and the aim of the game was to actually make a teenager commit suicide by prescribing different tasks for the teenagers, starting with the less harmful ones, like waking up in the middle of the night or something, and then the tasks got harsher and more severe, and then a lot of teenagers were actually pushed into committing suicide, and it was a big matter. And now Mr. Biloshytskiy here is explaining how we can deal with it, to not let our children get into those destroying games.
Yes, and actually what we notice that usually the kids that are, closed inside, and they do not trust anyone with their problems.
Are more prone to getting involved in those games.
And definitely our school police officers, though it is not their first function, and there are different other services that have to do that. But our guys have noticed and prevented several cases of the blue whale, notion, just because they became friendly and they communicated to the kids. And the kids, when they have their problem, they are not they do not hesitate to approach the police officer, the school police officer, and tell them of their problems.
Any problem they actually
and this is important. And every and each school where the school police officer works have a special board where all information about the school police officer is written, his photograph, his phone number, where he works, and some information about
how to contact him, actually,
yes,
right?
Definitely. And it is useful not just for the kids but also for the parents and for administration. And according to the feedback we get from the administration, parents, and kids, we have more than 90% of approval rating from all those three for the project of school police officer. And right now, I would like to also tell you that initially we launched the project in 4 pilot cities. It was
Which are?
Kiev, Lviv, it was Odessa and Ivano-Frankivsk.
And how many schools are we talking about here?
Mainly, we're trying to cover almost all the schools in the city. If we take
Are you
Kiev,
telling me that you've tried to cover every school in the Kiev?
This is where I'm getting at. Of course, in Kiev it is quite hard to keep those standards we have in the other cities, because there are too many schools in Kiev. But most of them have the contact information of their school police officer, and they're trying to get to the schools usually every week, because of course every and each school police officer cannot attend every school every day, because one school police officer, they have like from
Several
7 to 10 schools they have to be present at. But nevertheless, they can be contacted 24/7. So everyone knows their school police officer, and they know that they can address them whenever they need. And of course, there is a plan where, of course, they have to come, they have to do their job, they have to work with the kids, and they have to actually follow the plan. But on all the other cases, when they are needed, they're also there.
Tell me this, apart from teaching kids to be low obedient parts of the society, apart from becoming their friends, do police officers teach our children how to protect themselves in cases of emergency?
Definitely, and they also do that, as I told you, in a way that the kids are interested in it. But of course, we're not saying that we're teaching, like school police officers are teaching like martial arts, or something else for little kids. It's not like that. But it's for it's mainly what to do in certain situations. What not to do in certain situations.
Exactly. How to behave when a panic appears, right? When the crowd is running.
Yes.
What to do? How not to die, basically, in the crowd, because children are small and they can be easily stepped on, and so on and so forth.
Definitely. This is also what is covered by the school police officer. One more thing that is very important also in the job of school police officer is road safety, especially with the little kids. It becomes more and more, problematic. The numbers of the car accidents and the number of wounded and I'm sorry, kids that
Killed.
died in car accidents is very, very big, and it's problematic. And it's usually, you know, there are different there are different reasons why it happens, and sometimes it's because of lackage of special protection from the side of parents and kids. For example, like when the little kid goes out to the road in the night or at the evening when it's dark, and not having any kind of reflective like maybe
Clothes
jacket, clothes,
reflective insignia.
Maybe something that we're calling right now like flickers, special little things, like little objects that are glimmering or reflecting light when they're going to the road. In some European countries and even in some states, it is obligatory for a kid to wear something like that when they go.
It should be obligatory for grown-ups as well.
Yeah, it should be, but we don't have that legislation yet. But the importance is our understanding of the problem, and we can act. Actually, we can do something to do something better to get rid of this problematic, at least at some point, if we do it on our own. We don't need to wait for the special legislation to tell us that you're obliged to. But if we understand, we just give the kid this flicker, which is a little thing, but that can save his life, his or her life.
Well, and thank you so much for the job you're doing, and thank you so much for coming here telling us all about it.
Thank you.
That was Oleksiy Biloshytskiy. He's the first deputy head of Ukraine's patrol police. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned with UATV.